The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guns up and giddy up. It's the Failure to Stop podcast. Flagship show today, folks. The OG show, Failure to Stop. We're doing a breakdown. And today we are, unless you are completely disconnected from all things pop culture and crime related or court related, you have heard of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial going on. It's been going on for like 6 weeks. And today I think they are headed into closing arguments. So no better time to wrap this sucker up and give you the best moments of the trial, talk about them. We're going to give you a little bit about what led to this thing, what this is all about, give you some basic police perspective on this. From whatever police perspective we can provide, we're going to provide it. And this trial's everywhere. And we just decided, especially after last week, after talking about a cop convicted of murder and serving 25 years, that's pretty heavy. So we are going to go to the lighter side of true crime today with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. How you doing, Tansey?
Good. This has been one hell of a week, brother. I am running on fumes. It's our 3-year anniversary at the distillery, so we got all new furniture. Bands are playing. We've got trivia going on. Just every night this week we've had an event. Plus, we didn't plan it this way, but you and I hit our 100th episode, which was a huge celebration, and then we hit our 1 millionth download.
Yeah, been a big week, man.
Just a huge week, dude.
I was looking at the YouTubes, and it says that we had a 40% increase in views in the last 7 days. And then we hit our 1 millionth download. And that is all. It's all thanks to you guys. Thanks to people like Craigers-Daleski, who is a constant super chat supporter on YouTube. And
Craig, how do you have so much money?
I don't know what Craig does, but I need to do what Craig does.
It's his OnlyFans. The only reason Craigers gives us super chats is because he's trying to solicit our followers to go over to his OnlyFans, which is
there you go.
Only toes and elbows.
Only weenuses.
Yeah, it's weenuses and the webbing between his toes. Really hot stuff. Provocative.
If you guys are listeners to the show and you're like, what are you talking about, the super chat? So our Tuesday night shift show at 8 p.m. and our Friday show at 11 a.m. all Eastern time, we broadcast them live on YouTube. So if you want to watch the show, you can do that, or you can watch it back after the live streams. It's fine. We leave them up there. So we have a YouTube presence. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Look us up, Failure to Stop there if you're a listener. But anyway, all of the growth of the show, we're still less than a year old. We have 5 shows a week. Each show is a different episode style. We used to try to cram it all in on one show a week on Fridays. We realized that we were busting at the seams like a fat out of shape cop. And we decided to tighten the gun belt up and streamline. So we have 5 shows a week. So lots of content for you. And Friday, we do the true crime breakdown. So thank you for listening. If you want to support the show, you can subscribe to YouTube. You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Like, you hit that plus button, that follow button, so that you automatically get the content downloaded right to your phone the instant that it goes live. That is the best way. Of course, ratings and reviews help. So we always recognize some funny reviews. What do we have this week? UPP. Let's fire them up. Sweet baby Dave, Javo 1022, 5 stars, says the return of Dave's sweet, gentle radio voice to my earballs is exhilarating. My spine tingles with each utterance from Dave. I mean, Mike is nice too, though. Don't get me wrong. Wow, that's intense. Somebody's intense. Oh my gosh. Let's JL just dropped in a super chat since I missed your 100th episode. Damn, that number 47. Here's JL. Thank you for the super chat. But here's the crazy part.
It really was 100.
It really was 100. It turns out I announced this in our Discord that iTunes has a glitch and it double posted episode 47. I don't know what's going on in iTunes, but it actually was our 100th episode. So we thought it was 100, then we thought it was 101, but it really was 100. So there and back again. But thank you so much for the support. Appreciate it. Reviewing from my ghost bed, Secret Squirrel Shelby, 5 stars. I started listening to Failure to Stop while working on my 3rd marriage. Tansey is a brilliant artist and a creative genius. Listening to him talk about trauma with ease is as delightful as eating my grandma's banana pudding, but not as pleasant as the sweet slumber I experienced while sleeping in my ghost bed every night. Mike, Tansey, and over and underpaid producers, thanks a latte for sharing your gifts with us. Thank you. That was so sweet.
I really liked that review. It made me feel good on the inside. Because normally Eric or Jimmy and I don't get mentioned. And I appreciated it.
Well, there you go. You feel good. You want to hit this one, Tansey?
Bleed for Texas. Is that a reference to the?
Wow,
No, that can't be. That can't be.
I hope not.
That can't be that. Boy, that didn't age well. Pop a tent. As I sit on my ghost bed getting comfortable for night shift, I freshen up with a little rib pack. And I think about the fine men and women who give up their time and safety in a job where they are hated by most, and I am thankful for them. I've known some great people who are cops and some real dirtbags. But this show really helps you remember that most are just good people that sometimes make mistakes like we all do, but they are doing their best in a truly tough profession that's just getting. It's a very serious, it's a very serious ad read. Usually you get me to do ad reads when they're outrageous. So I was waiting. I should have read this in a different voice. Thanks to you both for humanizing the badge and breaking down the facts in an unbiased manner. Keep up the good work. Is Mike circumcised? I'm just kidding. I just added that part in. I just added that part in because it was getting too boring.
Yes, my Jewish roots.
Great review, though.
All right. I would say thank you again to all of those that are leaving ratings and reviews. We also, for our 1,000th episode, you can go to failuretostop.com. You can always drop support that way through the merch shop. We have a whiskey glass that is out to celebrate our 1 millionth download. And we are only going to do these for 1 week. So you've got between now and next Friday's show to get your order in. And tell us, you're a whiskey glass snob. So explain why these glasses are awesome.
Well, I'm a glass snob. So in the wine world, you really only drink out of real wine glasses, which are Riedel wine glasses. And there's a whole science to it. Being that I'm a sommelier and a certified specialist of wine, and I own a distillery, beverage is probably my most, it's my biggest hobby. But most glass is not real glass. So it's either really thick or it's really frosty and wavy. You don't ever really get to really appreciate the look and the color and the elegance of a spirit or of a wine. Spirits glasses, like more so than wine glasses, they all have what's called a beaded rim, which is that thick little lip on the top of the glass. We call it the speed bump of death. The tip of your tongue is what picks up the sweetest parts of a liquor. So if you drink from one of these whiskey glasses that has the speed bump of death on it, as the beverage or as the spirit flows through the glass, it hits that speed bump and bounces right to the middle part of your tongue, which picks up all the bitter notes, and you miss the sweetness. So you spend a lot of money on whiskey, but you don't really get to fully taste that whiskey. And I think that's ridiculous. I always get upset. If you're spending more than $30 on anything, then you should have the proper glassware to go with it, or else you're not getting it's like buying a lawnmower and putting one blade on it. Like why have a really nice
gas in your moped?
Yeah. It's like, you gotta step up your game a little bit. So when COVID hit, a buddy of mine who owned a trophy shop was having like a really hard time selling trophies because nobody was fucking playing sports, but he had some stuff in his shop that we kind of looked through, and we came up with this idea called whiskey ware. And it's where we went and got premium glass, real whiskey glass with a beadless rim, and then not laser etched it, but laser etched it and then sandblasted it so that your logo or whatever is permanently in the glass and you can run your fingers over it. But it was going to be more of like a real connoisseur's glass. It's not just like a showpiece. Like this is like a real hard, heavy glass that has an etching in it can be seen whether it has liquid in it or not. And so we came up with whiskey ware, and the product's really awesome. So it's really difficult to do because we literally do this by hand every single glass. So I don't like to advertise it, because when we did advertise it, we were doing like 600 glass orders for the Army. We did a couple hundred glasses for several different police departments, and nobody wants to be a full-time glass guy. I don't want to do that. So after COVID, we backed way off on advertising for that, but we still do it. We still get the gang back together, the Quack Attack. And so, we thought for our 1 millionth episode, I don't mind getting my fingers dirty and getting back with Rob and putting together some glasses. So for 1 week, we will be making these glasses for the 1 millionth download celebration. You have 1 week to order it. Each one of these glasses is going to be touched personally by my hand. So that's cool too.
Lloyd Burke wants to know, is there a promo code? If there is, there's 2 ways to get discounts. If you're a first-time purchase, you can use the code GUGU, GUGU, I think, and sign up for the, or if you sign up for the email list, I think there's a discount as well. Or you can become a YouTube member. All of our vice presidents get an exclusive ongoing discount as well. So those are the ways to get discounts. All right. We've talked enough about all of the housekeeping items. Thank you to everyone again. I mean, we've said it multiple times this week, but thank you for all the support. And we can't wait to keep growing the show with and for you. Real quick, before we dive into the Depp Heard stuff, I do want to throw out there, because we've been getting messages, at least I've been getting a ton of messages on the Uvalde, Texas, whatever you call it, terrorist incident, massacre, school shooting, however you want to phrase it. And we're just really outside of probably wanting to hug our kids a little bit tighter and knowing that this is a terrible thing for people to endure. As far as the facts go, a lot of speculation is going on about the response of the cops on the scene. What we do know is that a cop ended it. It got shot in the leg and in the head in the process, but he ended it. That's what we do know for a fact. Everything else is a lot of speculation in terms of what actually happened, in terms of the timing of it all. So we're going to reserve comment and save this for a proper breakdown. And we will break down this incident and this case in due time. For now, we want to extend our condolences to those families and first responders and all that they're going to be going through in the coming weeks and months and years after this incident. But stand by. We're not going to spout off. So
I'm not even following. I'm not even looking at the news in regards to that at all. Like, I know what happened. I know that 19 kids are dead. I think it's tragic. I'm going to just think on that, but I'm not watching. If any news starts to bring it up, I turn it right off. I don't want anybody to take an opportunity to politicize this in my own brain. I just want to feel bad for the kids, and that's it. I don't want to think about fucking guns. I don't want to think about politics or security or Ukraine or whatever the fuck they're trying to tie into this. Because I see headlines. I don't want to think about any of it. So when all the facts in this case are done, we'll break it down and we'll give you all the facts.
Absolutely. It'll be a breakdown worth our time and effort and worth your patience to get. So I know that requests are coming in for us to talk about it, but it's just too soon. We just don't know.
That's not what we're about. That's
these
not what
things
these
take time.
We're not just another mainstream media outlet that regurgitates what all the other mainstream media outlets. Like, we're going to, what we do is we try to get a hold of people that were on scene. We try to get the full picture, what both sides say about it, what's truth, what's fiction. And that way, when we deliver the show, as we normally do, you have all the facts so you can make an unbiased opinion on what happened.
Yeah. And we might not always even get it right. And that's okay. We'll be okay with admitting that we were incorrect or that we left out something that would have been good to include and all that stuff. It's not perfect, but we're putting the work in to get it done for you. Now, today we jump into the 6-week-long Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. What is this? And then we're going to enjoy some funny moments and just hang out and walk through this and have fun in the chats today for those that are watching it live. This is a defamation lawsuit, and there's actually 2 lawsuits in one happening. Some some people aren't clear on that. I think a lot of people have no clue what this is even about. They just love watching the news clips and they love laughing at it. And that's totally respectable in the case of two Hollywood elites criticizing each other for 6 weeks and making funny sound bites. If that's entertaining to you, cool. You know, I don't know. I don't know how much criminality goes into this or not. But what this is in a nutshell is that Amber Heard wrote an article in the Washington Post and basically talked about being a survivor or victim of abuse. And it is inferred that it was Johnny Depp, even though she never mentions him by name in this initial article, the article in question. In response to that, Johnny Depp had lawyers make at least three statements, public statements to the media, discrediting Amber Heard's statements as completely false. So what happened is Johnny Depp sues Amber Heard for defamation. When that happens, Amber Heard, I think he sues for $50 million. She countersues for $100 million, and saying both of them are accusing the other's defamation as impacting their career. For Johnny Depp, that he wasn't getting parts anymore, that he was kicked off of Disney's now the Pirates of the Caribbean empire franchise of shows. And then Amber Heard says that Johnny Depp's defamation of her created career problems for her. She couldn't get roles. She couldn't get jobs in her areas of expertise. And so this is defamation. And what that is defamation can occur in one of two ways: libel or slander. Libel is when someone misrepresents facts about a person that negatively impacts them in written format. So that would have been what Johnny Depp is accusing Amber Heard of by her article in the Washington Post. And slander is verbal, which is what she would be accusing Johnny Depp of by having his attorneys say things publicly to the media. So one is verbal, one is written. The written is libel, the verbal is slander. Both fall under the umbrella of defamation. None of this is criminal. The only way it would ever be criminal is if there would be like sedition, like using speech to incite a crime. That could be considered seditious.
Yeah, like I give $100 if somebody smoked that bitch. That would be
right. So there, it can cross into the criminal, but this is all civil. This is all about money and career. And what unfolded over the last 6 weeks shows that. Now, if you have any questions about what you're hearing, if you have heard terms in the courtroom, if you've wondered, well, what is hearsay, or what are these sidebars that they do, or what is speculation, or what are these terms that you've heard? If you've been a follower of this trial and never really understood what's going on in this aspect of it, hey, fire a question off in the chat, put it in the comments even after this is over, and we'll interact with the comments here. Send a question on Instagram, on Facebook Messenger, and we'll respond to you. And we'll try to educate you a little bit more on the criminal versus civil, or what are some of the terms that you've heard in here. The main difference between criminal court and civil court is in criminal court, you have your constitutional rights, right? As someone accused of a crime, all of your Fourth Amendment, your Fifth Amendment rights, they're in play, and you're facing jail time or prison time as a result of being convicted, in addition to any fines or court costs. Civil-wise, then it's jail time is not an issue, right? And you don't have constitutional rights. It's just the evidence of the relevant evidence of the case, of what you're being accused of on a civil level. Sometimes after a criminal case, civil cases still happen with the same case. The difference being, to be convicted criminally, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. That is the standard of evidence. To be convicted of a crime, you have to convince a judge or a jury beyond a reasonable doubt of the evidence. In a civil case, it is literally like 50.0000001% of the evidence, the preponderance of the evidence. If you can convince, in this case, a 7-person civil jury by more than 50% that one person is right and the other person is wrong, they can go in your favor.
Now, most juries, they usually say it's like an 80% rule. Like the juries will often, side as long as it's 80% true. That's when, typically, generally speaking, 80% is when the jury's like, yeah, okay, we got you. Versus like what he said, criminal, where you got to be 100%.
There you go. All right, so that's the police officer and me explaining to the audience what the lay of the land. So now, beyond this, I have literally not really kept up with this other than a few funny memes or reels or whatever on social media. So I'm handing it to you and the overpaid producer to feed us, my friend, and I'll react with the rest of the audience on this one.
Sure. Look, I've been all in on this trial. We all know that I like pop culture news. That's why I do Last Call, because I do all the pop culture stuff. I really get into it because I think it's fun for me and my wife to go back and forth on these things. I really do get into pop culture stuff because it makes really great conversation, and it kind of makes you the life of the party when you can talk about, because not everybody can talk about sports because generally women aren't speaking. But if you're or generally don't know a lot about sports, I guess you would say. So if you get into pop culture, everybody can kind of get into that. Like guys don't want to admit it, but they start hearing you talk about stuff. They always are going to have an opinion on it. Whereas you start talking about sports, you're going to lose guys like me, guys like Mike.
Hey, sports.
Yeah, sports. So I've always been into pop culture because it's fun to chat about. Amber and Johnny, they met on the Rum Diary set. And at the time, Johnny Depp was in a relationship with Vanessa Paradis. I don't know how to say her name, but she's basically a French model. She's all right. Amber Heard's a little bit hotter in my opinion. We can debate that in the chat all day long too.
Amber Heard, when I look at her and everybody talks about her being hot, I look at her and see nothing but crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. I didn't know she
movies,
existed. Though. I didn't know she existed. The first time I ever heard of Amber Heard was when this trial came out, and I saw a picture of her. I'm like, that bitch is crazy. Whoever that is.
I think she looked really hot in the Rum Diary. Of course, she was a lot.
I don't even know what the Rum Diaries are, but you better know what the Rum Diaries are because you're a distiller.
Right. It's a really good, fun movie. And Johnny when he gets on the stand, he goes in such detail over this film. It's fucking hilarious. I really feel like Johnny Depp feels like he's on a podcast when he's on the witness stand. Like they asked him a very simple question and he was like, I was hanging out with Hunter S. Thompson and going through books. He's written a lot of books. And his only novel, I found his only novel that he'd ever written, and it was The Rum Diary. And I thought, this is it, Hunter. We make a movie on this thing. And so, visually speaking, and like he's just going on and on, and everybody's like captivated. Like there's no objection or anything. Everybody's like, oh, that's how it's like. You get. Do you think that they're?
How much do you think that they are respectively acting? Like they don't even have an off switch for being performers.
They're actors, man. He's putting on a show. And everybody was in on it. I was in on it when he was talking about the Hunter S. Thompson thing. And I was like, wait. That has nothing to do with the question. Like literally they were like, this was the question. I don't know if you have this clip or not, Jimmy, but the question was, he might not have this clip, but the question was, how did you and Miss Heard meet? And he goes into this whole thing. He's like, well, it was hanging out with Hunter S. Thompson. And he does the whole bit. And he goes into it and he was like, and I really thought this was a great novel. It was his only novel. It was a great novel. And, in this novel, and then he goes into talking about the novel and everybody's just like, wow, yeah. And he's like, and I thought, this would be the great movie. And so he goes into that and he meets Amber Heard in the movie. She's in the movie. She's a smoke show and there's a scene of her getting up on the boat. Showing a lot of skin and everything. It's a funny movie. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. But at the time, he was in this relationship with Vanessa Paradis. And then, and by the way, Johnny Depp's had a lot of partners in Hollywood. It's about every 4 years. He's onto somebody new.
I didn't know till today that after Amber and Johnny got divorced, she hooked up with Elon Musk.
Well, yeah, that's a great threesome story that we'll get into.
What?
From that? Yes. There was a threesome with her, another female and on Elon Musk. But
man, my Asperger's bro is that bold.
Look, I think what we're all gonna take from this is that Hollywood elites, I've always said, are the epitome of dog shit. Like they're all dog shit. So and all these politicians try to be like them. They all go to the same parties. They're all fucking each other. And they're all, you say live by the sword, die by the sword. This is what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to talk a lot about destructive behaviors. And we're going to talk a lot about relationship stuff as police point of view and what it's like mediating these kind of situations. So hopefully everybody can learn something from
to have
this.
been a cop responding to those calls of domestic violence between those two.
I would have been fangirling. I would have been fangirling way too much. I'd be like, hey Amber, can you throw a bottle at me like Johnny Depp threw one at you? Like, let's reenact this really fast. But anyway, at this time, this is where it gets fun. Amber was dating a female, Tasaya Van Ree, who's really not that attractive. She's more like a dudish type girl, which whatever, to each his own. Like I get it. It's that whole lesbian thing. You know what I mean?
Bisexual?
She's bisexual.
Okay.
Should be your first red flag. But we're all tolerant in 2022. But I'm just gonna let you know
that eyes are the first red flag.
That shit's not that doesn't last. It's like being in the mob. Like it's cool and it's fun, but that shit's not gonna last. So she ends up leaving her, he ends up leaving his girl, and they get together. And I don't know, like a year or so later, they get married. And their first little bit of their marriage is great, whatever. And I'm not going to go into like a whole bunch of stuff, but basically drugs and alcohol spiral this relationship completely out of control. And they just have a very destructive relationship. And I know people personally that have been in relationships like this. And it's not to say that either person is wrong. It's just when you get two really bad people together that don't fit, it makes them both really bad. And I think drugs and alcohol and infidelity have a lot to do with this. But these are two human beings that are trying to live their best life. But Johnny's in his 50s and she's in his 20s.
She's in her 20s?
So, yeah. When they meet, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how old is she now? I have no idea.
She would have been in her 20s in 2016. Yeah, you can look that up. So, can a 50-year-old date a 20-year-old chick and that be okay? I guess. Like I've seen it happen, I guess, a few times. I think it's weird. Of course, who am I to kink shame? I mean, if I'm leaving my wife, I'm going for a very much older.
I'll kink shame 100%.
Yeah, you don't think a 50-year-old should be with a 20-year-old in any circumstance?
That's not a kink.
Oh,
I don't think that's a kink.
Okay,
that's just an age difference. Like, right. I distrust. I think I have a healthy distrust of any younger person's motivation for that big of an age gap. Like 8 to 10 years isn't crazy unusual, but when you see like freaking a guy like Dick Van Dyke, who's like 118 years old, and like if he's got a 30-year-old girlfriend or whatever, I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. There's no true love happening there. That's bullshit. So maybe a little bit. I mean, 30 years is a big age gap to me. So I'm inherently a 22-year age gap. She's 36 now.
Yeah. So this would all have been taking place roughly around 2015 or 2012.
Yeah,
when they first met.
Yeah, so she would have been in her 20s. Yeah, so I mean, but still, like the whole concept of 22-year age difference, I think probably anything beyond 10 years starts to make me a little suspicious on the surface. It's not a guarantee, but I'm like,
I think it's going to take a lot more work to make it work, especially when they're in their 20s, because girls in their 20s, guys in their 20s, I mean, dude, especially in a Hollywood setting, you're ready to live that best life, dude. You're not going to set down like a 50-year-old dude's making lots of noises that are probably going to be pretty annoying. They sneeze and fart at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they're getting toilet paper lost in their fucking butt cheek rolls. They wake up at ungodly hours, like 4 a.m., to read the newspaper.
What the hell is a butt cheek roll?
It's like you're fat. It's like it's like the skin of a 50-year-old ass.
Oh,
you never seen Hangover?
It's coming for you, man.
Yeah, I don't remember butt cheek rolls though.
I'm 46. I'm only a few years away from butt cheek rolls.
You're 4 years away from the rolls.
You better start like freaking using those Asian baby foreskin facials that Hollywood uses.
Yeah, whatever it takes to be younger again.
Yeah, whatever Tom Cruise is doing. So anyway,
Well, he's a Thetan or whatever. He's an alien, so he can. I mean, he's got access to other
people.
planetary resources.
So they have this big age difference, and when they're like both partying a lot, she is gonna cheat on Johnny Depp very early on in the relationship, and I think it's like reported or alleged that she cheated over 30 times, 30 different people. So, you know, you've got this bisexual 20-year-old who's all fucking boned up, you know, on set in, you know, Puerto Rico filming, you know, and then Johnny Depp's all over the world, and she's fucking around, dude. And they've got like 10 penthouses. They're both doing coke. I'm not convinced that she's not doing coke during this trial. And there's a lot of clips that look like she's freaking taking.
I saw a clip where she tried to hide whatever it was that she was drinking when
the water bottle
or whatever.
Have you seen the clip where she's like running a bump and she's like doing all the faces after like just doing a bump on the stand, and everybody was like, dude, did she just fucking do a bump on the stand? So one of the bombshell things that came out of this was that she was sleeping with Franco. What's his name? James Franco. James Franco. And there's a pretty damning clip of that. Do you have that clip, the James Franco clip?
It was further on in the clip. We got it up real quick.
Okay. So you can kind of we'll go ahead and play this really fast because I think a cheating woman or a cheating man can drive anybody crazy. So if we're talking about domestic violence, like when you can't trust somebody, it's a huge fucking problem. Huge problem. And if and she is cheating on him, in my opinion. You want to play the tape?
Yeah.
Go ahead, play this tape. And you tell me, Mike. So there's an elevator. Amber gets on it. She's wearing a robe. It's 11 o'clock at night. James Franco is standing behind her. She backs her ass up, puts her ass like kind of like on his knee. And now they're going to put both their heads together at the back of this elevator alone. Now they're going to get a nice little cuddle in here for a second. There's the nice cuddle. She's going to like rub her head on his head, you know, kind of like the wish we could be together right this second and fuck on this elevator type deal. The elevator's going to open and they're both going to leave. And they go to her penthouse, allegedly, because that's the floor of her penthouse. And Johnny Depp was out of town. So that video also made pretty, you know, it made its rounds, went viral. So, I mean, if you're a guy and you see that while you're out of town, you're going to have some trust issues.
Yeah.
Now, it looks like Amber's engaged in some activities. I don't know. Like, it could have been the cocaine. Maybe not. I don't know.
Or maybe he's just a drug dealer and James Franco being a drug dealer.
James Franco had a kilo in that backpack.
So,
I feel like that's not his first time trying to hide his personhood on an elevator. He like was so keen on the fact that there was a camera. It was like he was so subtle with his movements. I don't know.
Well, she backed up on him though.
I know, but I'm saying like even from the moment he's walking in, his head is down.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's just a mannerism about him. Like, hey, I don't want people to see me here.
Right. Yeah. So this whole thing is going to lead to lots of fighting and very toxic relationship stuff. Go ahead and play some of these clips. We'll just watch them really quick.
I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you.
All right, so pause this. So he goes, you want to see crazy? I'll show you fucking crazy. One, he's dressed like Crocodile Dundee. He's got denim jacket on that's missing buttons. He's got matching denim jeans. And he's got a fucking Crocodile Dundee cowboy hat on and glasses because the sun never sets on a true player. He is inside. And he grabs the greatest wine glass of all fucking time, which my wife goes, hey, Eric, did you see the Johnny Depp trial image where he's drinking out of your wine glass? Now, because I'm a wine glass snob, and we've already talked about that earlier on the show, this wine glass has a very thick wine glass base, as in like it would hold a candle and not a wine glass. And then the top of it is a mason jar. So imagine a wine glass with the stem of a candle holder and a mounted mounted mason jar glass on top. So it's what we call a redneck wine glass. He takes the red wine, goes, "Yeah, honestly, crazy. I'll show you crazy."
Looks like he's got some Fiji water there, so he's hydrated at least before he gets to hammer down his wine.
He grabs this thing, he fills it to the absolute top of this mason jar, the whole bottle of wine, and it's a 1.5 liter wine bottle.
Oh, yeah,
So
that bad boy looks big.
that is fucking crazy. That is fucking crazy. Anytime you're breaking out the 1.5 liter wine glasses, the wine bottles, when you go to your wine cellar and you drop out the 1.5 liter wine bottles, shit never goes good. Shit never goes right, especially if that's white wine. If you're fucking hammering 1.5 liters of white wine, that just screams domestic violence.
How much do you think that glass of wine is worth, considering?
I can't see what the front of the bottle is, so I don't know. I mean, the shape of the bottle looks like it's probably like some kind of a Syrah bottle. It's dark green. It's red wine, whatever it is. I don't know that. I can't really. I wouldn't be able to tell you what that is. So he fills up this bullshit wine glass. So can I tell you a really quick domestic violence story?
Yeah, please.
Have I ever told the story?
I love hearing about humans.
And it has to do with 1.5 liter wine bottles. And this we'll tie it into the Johnny Depp trial here, but and I might have told this story again, but we have a lot of new listeners, and this is worth evident. But me and my buddy, his name is Scott, we get this call one night, and we're on the nice side of town for once, and the real rich side of town. And so we get this call like 3 a.m. for domestic violence, and we were rookies, and so we were like, we'll take it, let's go together. So he and I, being brand new cops, we go down to this call, and there's this really short girl from New England standing at the end of the driveway wearing a New England Patriots hoodie that goes down to about her knees. She's about 5'2" at best. So we go over to her and we steeple our fingers because we're brand new cops, and we're saying, "Hey man, what's going on tonight? How can we help you?" And she was like, "You know what? Fuck that motherfucker. I want a goddamn divorce." And we were like, "Well, we don't work in divorces. Maybe we can maybe we can mediate this. Tell us what's going on that you want a divorce." She's like, "No, you not understand what I'm saying. Fuck that motherfucker. I want a goddamn divorce." And so we got our steeple fingers. We're like, "Sure, man. Look, we don't deal in divorces. Give us a breakdown of what happened." She's like, "Fuck that motherfucker. I want a goddamn divorce, and I want it right now." So we're not getting anywhere. So Scott says, "Hey, Eric, go knock on the door and see what's up." So rookie cop, I walk to the door. I feel cool. I knock on the door. This giant Clay Matthews looking motherfucker opens the door like a Viking. Long blonde hair, probably 6'4", just an animal of a dude. Opens the door. I immediately humble up, steeple my fingers. I'm going, "Sir, what's going on tonight that's so bad that your wife is at the end of the driveway, wanting a divorce?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Honestly, officer, this whole thing started over a fart, a goddamn fart." And I said, a what?" And he was like, "A fart." And I was like, "Sir, I don't know what you're trying to say." And she was like, "He fucking farted in my olives." And I said, "What?" She blows past him, blows past me, goes into the house, grabs a jar of olives. She goes, "He picked up my olives, he cracked the jar, he stuck it up to his asshole, and he fucking farted in my goddamn olives." And I said, "Sir, did you fart in this young lady's olives?" And with a crying Amber Heard face, he's like, "Yeah, I did." And I was like, "Come on, man." So we end up, getting her parents to come and remove her from the house and take it. But as I'm doing my research, I open up the trash can and I look in there, and there is a 1.5 liter of Pinot Grigio. And I pull out the 1.5 liter of Pinot Grigio, and I said, "This right here, anytime you see this, it's a domestic violence situation. If it's only 2 people and there's a 1.5 liter of white wine, especially Pinot Grigio, it's got fucking domestic violence written all over it."
Why
So,
white wine? What's so special about that creates
girls
the
get
extra
white
issue?
girls get white girl wasted on it, and it's chilled. It goes down a little bit faster. They don't enjoy it as long. They don't hold it in their mouth as long as
It's
red wine.
sweeter, isn't it? White wine.
No, it's just a different fruit. So
White wine. So much
red
better
wine
than
was
red
like
wine.
strawberries. White wine is more like lemons and limes.
Okay.
So it's like drinking Sprite versus drinking Coke. People drink Sprite typically faster than they'll drink Coke because it's a clear soda. It's a little bit more refreshing and zesty. And people don't typically chug Coke, but they can slam some Sprite. So I don't know. I just feel like people drink white wine a lot faster than they drink red wine. So they get a little bit white girl wasted. So yeah, she fucking farted in his fucking olives. So we've got this video starting off with him like, "You want to see crazy? I'll show you crazy. I'm going to fill up my redneck wine glass and I'm going to get this party started." Good. Keep playing the tape. It's just going to get worse.
Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really? Really?
He's got her camera. Now he's pissed. He throws the phone. But she comes in. She's like, "Did you drink this whole thing this morning?" And he's like, "Oh, you want to film me? You want to fucking film me?
Oh, you've got this going. You've got this going.
You get this going." So
He sounds awesome, even when he's like completely hammered.
yeah, dude, listen, I'll party with Johnny Depp any day.
I don't think I could
let's play
hang.
one more.
I don't think I could hang.
This is his follow up on it. On
Yeah,
the
this
stand.
is his fault. This is him explaining those actions.
Your
on the stand.
house in West Hollywood on Sweetser Avenue, correct?
That's correct, sir.
You were violent in that clip, correct?
Clearly I was having a bad time.
I was really having a bad time. Now one thing I take with this, now I don't know who's guilty and who's innocent in this trial. I mean, I'm kind of team Johnny on this point. I think more realistically though, that's just two toxic fucking people that are, like I said, live by the sword, die by the sword. If you're gonna do these kinds of things, you're gonna get up early in the morning and slam a fucking 1.5 liter of wine.
Hard AF, baby. Johnny Depp goes hard.
Eric, did you drink all those cans? I was obviously having a bad time.
Eric, did you have a 6-pack of hard AF this morning already?
Mike, I was having. Oh, you want to film this, Mike? You want to film this, Mike? Yeah, film this, Mike. I'm done.
You've got this. You've got this podcast. Is that what we're gonna do? We're gonna do the podcast after a hard AF. Is that what you want to do? Clearly, I'm having a bad time.
Clearly, I'm having a bad time with this. So, I don't know. I think there, but one thing that Johnny makes really clear from the beginning, and he hasn't come off of it, is I've never hit a woman, and I get that, dude. Like I was in a relationship when I was very young. I was still in the military, and the chick drove me so nuts that I punched holes in the walls. Now, I've never punched a hole in the wall with my wife. Now, I've never thrown anything out of anger.
You better not. You hurt your wife. I'm gonna come hurt you.
Now I do get mad and throw things, but it's mad at like a lawnmower, and I'm outside, and it's me in my shed by myself. But like,
You just gotta pull the cord to start it, dude. It's not hard.
I wish it was that easy. Every time I go to the mow lawn, it's a fucking disaster. But
I feel like your lawnmower is from 1962, and you just keep trying to fix it.
it's the snapper. It's like the one on. I'm serious. It really is.
You've got too much grass to be trying to use a snapper on that bad boy.
Dude, it's a riding snapper. Like the
Oh,
one
a
on,
riding one.
Yeah, it's like the one on Waterboy. So same mower as Waterboy, but same exact one. But he says he's never hit her, and because he was in an abuse, he was abused by his mother, and so he's always just ran away from fights. And literally every clip, he does run away from her. Now, I feel like in this scenario, being angry and violent around your house, that's your fucking business. You want to break shit in your house? I don't think it's right. I don't do it. Something you definitely have to work on. When I first met my wife and we were dating, she was very specific of what I could do if I was upset and what I couldn't do, and what were no's and do's and don'ts. And I've lived by those still to this day. I've never called my wife a bitch. I've never called my wife a nasty name. And I've never yelled at her out of anger or thrown things out of anger at her or any of those sorts. Because
I can't imagine calling my wife a bitch.
dude, I hear it a lot though. I hear people do it a
Wow.
lot.
You
I
know,
hear
Brooke-
I hear people call people a bitch a lot.
I've never even said that
wife's-
to another person, no matter
Yeah,
how
like
mad
my
I've
wif's
been at
being
her.
such a bitch. I'm
what
like,
about
God,
what
dude,
about
oh my God.
jokingly?
Not
No.
You don't do
I
that
don't.
jokingly?
No.
jokingly.
I've
My
never.
wife and I do that to each other all the time.
I think it's very
No.
unhealthy. I think it's unhealthy. I think
Really?
I think it's
Yeah.
unhealthy because I think it escalates.
I would
Uh,
never say that out of anger.
No,
ever.
but I don't even want to make a habit of doing it.
Yeah, that makes
or even
sense.
let it come across. I've never. My wife is like my most cherished things. Now I'm irreverent towards my wife. Like I'll talk about having sex with her and all sorts of stuff. But I do it like right to like she's okay with it. Our relationship was based on her laughing at me, so she knew what she was getting into when it comes to that. And we have no secrets. So, but I've always been like very respectful. I still try to get the door for her. You know, if we're going out, if we're out on a date, I'm getting the doors for her. I'm letting her out of the car. I'm holding her hands. I like to come home and surprise her with flowers or chocolates and stuff like that. But I never, ever disrespect
Edible
her, ever.
panties.
Nor will I
Easily.
ever correct her if she's telling a story. And I
surprise
see a
her
lot
with
of
edible panties every week.
I see this going on a lot, and people. I don't feel like I'm an expert of a lot of things, but I do think I'm an expert at being a fairly good husband, because I work really hard at being a good husband and a good father. But my wife, you know, it's like people will tell a story, and then their wife or husband will interrupt them during the story, or try to say like, that's not that what happened, or you did this, or do that. And then they end up arguing through the whole story, and you never get to hear somebody's story. And I think it's really great that my wife has never ever done that. She just lets me tell a story. And then maybe at the end she'll be like, it might not have been the way it was. Or she'll be like, that's the way it was. But it's fun and it's flirty, and we don't have an argumentative relationship, and we don't argue. We never embarrass each other in front of other people. We'll tell funny stories, but we'll never do it to embarrass each other. And I see a lot of couples at my distillery, especially, where they tell stories that like generally try to hurt the other person.
Isn't that weird that people do that?
I do think
people have terrible communication in relationships.
So it sounds like what's going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is they did not have a great health.
No.
Their relationship could not be described as healthy.
No, but I don't think it leads to criminal. I think she definitely needs to go to therapy. He does too. They both need fucking help. I mean, they're both drug addicts and alcoholics for sure. But she is.
Do you think it ever got physical
abusive.
where she actually attacked him?
Yeah, I do. I think she's more the attacker than he is. I think she throws shit at him. I think she slaps at him. I mean, she admits it. I think she did crush his thumb and have part of it cutting off. Play that next clip, Johnny. Play that next clip, Johnny.
I will play it real quick.
You remember the first time that he physically hit you?
Yes. He was drinking, and I asked him about the tattoos on his arm. I didn't know what it said. It just looked like muddled, faded tattoo.
Pause it. That's bullshit. I can fucking see from a mile away what that tattoo says. It says "Wino Forever." It's awesome. I might go get a fucking tattoo. Wino Forever.
Yeah, 21 Jump Street does what he wants.
Dude, that was awesome. That's an awesome tattoo. So
I would like you to.
She's being a
put
huge
little,
bitch.
A little glass here with a Wino Forever, if you would, please.
Play it.
And I said, "What does it say?" And he said it says "Wino." I just laughed because I thought he was joking, and slapped me across the face. I said, "You think it's so funny?" And he slapped me again.
She had it coming.
Second slap, I know he's not kidding, but I don't know what else to say or do, so I just stared at him.
Her face is so disingenuous that it makes me laugh.
She looks like that one Muppet that's got an upside down face, like smile.
Yeah, it's like the clown.
You know what is Beaker or whatever?
Not Beaker, it's a different guy, but Beaker, yeah, same thing.
You know what pisses me off is she's looking at the jury the whole time, the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, they're all putting on a show. They're all acting here. So she says, here's how I picture this, right? They're sitting on the couch, and Johnny's just trying to like fucking get his drink on. He's trying to watch the game, watch a little soccer, probably, maybe a horse race. But he's drinking, probably done a bump of cocaine, living his best life. He's Johnny fucking Depp. And she's like, I want to start some shit right now. I've had a fucking liter and a half of Pinot Grigio. Let's turn this up. What's that fucking stupid ass tattoo on your arm? What does that even say? What is that even on your arm?
It says Wino.
It says Wino Forever. She's like, fucking retard. And he's like,
I wonder. I could see like the drunk slap versus like a legitimate domestic, assault. Like, what are you talking about, woman? You stupid woman.
You stupid woman. I'm just trying to have some cocaine. Watch a fucking game. Place it better too.
The wine had brought me down, and now it's time to get a little bump to bring me up. I gotta stay even.
Talking shit about my awesome fucking tattoo.
Even keel across this ocean of vast sexuality that I am.
Now you sound like that. What's the guy with the really long hair that does all the yoga and shit? That's like super outspoken.
Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell Brand. Okay, so
Russell Brand is a little bit higher.
Yeah, so he smacks her allegedly, and she goes to the ground laughing. So let me say, if I fucking slap you for reals, you're not laughing.
Tickle me, Amber.
When I slap my wife, she doesn't laugh. She knows I'm serious. I'm kidding. I've never fucking hit my wife ever. I shudder to think what would happen. But anyway, then she says he got on the ground and he kept slapping me, and then I knew he was.
And she lived to tell about it
with her face.
Maybe
All right,
that's
keep
why her
going.
face frowns all the time. Maybe that slap just knocked her smile upside down.
Well, she says he broke her nose, but we'll keep going. I don't believe it. I do
And he
like
slaps me one more time.
Oh.
Hard.
hard.
Because it didn't hurt. I wish so much he had said he was joking. Because it didn't hurt. It didn't physically hurt me.
You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. But you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
I was just looking at the dirty carpet, trying to will myself to get up, to walk out of the door because I knew I needed to.
I'm sorry, bitch. I should have vacuumed the
Second
floor.
slap, I know he's not kidding, but I don't know what else to say or do, so I just stared at him. And he slaps me one more time.
Yeah.
Hard. I wish so much.
So good. I don't know. I feel mildly bad because it's like in one sense where I don't want to laugh at like actual victims who have actually been slapped, but this is bullshit. This is.
Hey, I give you guys a domestic. I give you the domestic violence card. I was a kid. I was domestically violenced as a kid. You could laugh.
Yeah, like Jimmy's dad beat the fuck out of him like on a daily basis.
You guys can laugh at it.
Okay, so you're giving us permission as a victim of domestic violence.
Yeah,
but like, dude, her acting is so bad here. It's no wonder she didn't get Aquaman 2. Like she was. That has nothing to do with Johnny Depp. Like if that's the way she's gonna act, she's not getting Aquaman 2. I'm sorry.
Aquaman was the first movie I ever wanted to walk out of. It was so bad.
Not
And
because
she's
of Amber
like,
Heard, though.
Why did she say?
Just because he's like, I'm a Christian and I shouldn't have a boner over.
No, why did she say
Over
that she
Jason
was?
Momoa.
He's so hot. Why was she saying? I was looking at the dirty carpet. Like,
I think that's like just a stab. I mean, like one, you're Johnny Depp. You don't have a dirty carpet. You know what I mean? Like, you've got like maids and shit. Yeah.
Maybe you got dirty sheets.
Maybe you got some dirty sheet. Well, he doesn't.
Yeah, maybe she took a bump on the carpet too.
But I like how she
We'll
was
get
like,
to that.
I can think of as the dirty carpet, and you know that's embarrassing. Don't bring up the dirty carpet. You're the fucking woman. Vacuum that shit. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. We just lost Imperial Girl. She's like, and I'm out. I'm just kidding. So anyway, again, the facial expressions there. So that's one of the stories. Keep going. Let's just keep buzzing through these because they're all great. These are all the audacious moments that you don't want to miss here.
That's a good word for the like title or catchy audacious.
She would rather not hear.
By the way, because I'm louder.
Okay, well,
By the way, my family, my friends,
you're
everyone
screaming.
around me saw all the bruises and broken blood vessel under my eye, the bruises on my head, the missing chunks of hair, the split lip, the black eye, the swollen nose, all that shit. Because you're stronger. It does not mean because they heard me that I'm somehow more responsible. It just means they heard me because I yell in a fight. You do provoke. I yell. It doesn't mean I'm more responsible or badder.
What was that from? What was that? What's the source of that audio?
That's her, and that's her talking to Johnny Depp. Like she records Johnny a lot. Like, and here's the other problem I have with a lot of her evidence is and Mike, maybe you can back me up on this, but anytime somebody shows you a video of domestic violence, they never show you the whole domestic violence fight. They only show you like a very specific part of the fight. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, I've had situations where, like, let's say somebody comes in to report a domestic, right? And they make these accusations, and I'm like, well, we really don't have any evidence that this happened. This is literally like just a he said, she said kind of a thing. There has to be evidence, ma'am or sir. And then they would come back the same day. I have evidence. And they would have like some type of recording on their phone or message on Facebook or something else. Like all of a sudden, when they knew that they needed to have evidence, they went and manufactured their version of evidence, even though you're like, I just told you an hour ago needed evidence, and then you somehow are magically able to go get a domestic situation again right away with just this one piece of audio clip or video clip of something. Like yeah, that might not be enough to go arrest somebody for a crime, you know.
And with that particular clip, she's trying to say that he beat her up. There's no video, there's no proof that she's got missing chunks of hair and all these things, but she's saying all anybody did was just hear her screaming and freaking out. And they're like, well, I don't know, I heard you going crazy, not Johnny. But like, well, I look like this. Maybe she's attacking Johnny. He's just defending himself. You don't know. That's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, she looks like she's the instigator. Like in the case of the tattoo, like that's like a pure instigation. Like I can literally see him sitting on the couch trying to mind his own business, and her trying to fucking start shit by talking about his tattoo. That's fucking awesome. So anyway, so she's always trying to set him up on the cameras, but then she'll also take Facebook photos where she'll show like all the bruises over her body, but then she testifies that there were like bruises and shit all over her face. She had a broken nose. But then one of Johnny Depp's lawyers is going to go, okay, so you take pictures of like the very minor bruises on your arms and shit, but you never take a picture of the fucking broken nose you put makeup on and then take the picture. So it doesn't make much sense. Like, come on, go ahead, keep rolling.
The story doesn't add up.
No, but it gets crazier. Like this is a video of him explaining cryptic writing out of blood. So let's just get this.
You dipped your finger in paint after suffering an injury.
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, that was after after writing on the walls, the blood had kind of dried, as it were, and so I stuck my finger into a can of paint and also, excuse me, mineral spirits to put my verbal messages onto the wall.
Like he's like the ultimate troll.
The way he's saying it, it makes me like, yeah, that makes sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like somebody missing the tip of their finger who started writing in blood and finished when it dried up by sticking their finger in paint and mineral spirits to finish the message. That's wacky, right?
Insanity, bro.
But when he says it, I'm like, yeah, I totally get that, man. I relate to that.
Depp,
I would do the same thing if I were you.
Yeah. Like, you know, you're all in. Like, you know, you're all in. You're like, all right, bitch. It's like that dude farting in that girl's olives. Like, I should have went back and be like, dude, like, what happened? That she pissed you off so bad. She's like, make me a dirty martini, you fucking asshole. And he's like, you want a martini, bitch? I got you a dirty martini. You want fucking dirty olives, bitch? Here's some fucking dirty olives. Shit in your olives. So
I don't
anyway,
understand why she's so mad. I was just finger painting.
So in this case, he alleges that she threw a large ball of vodka, like the vodka with the handles, at him, and it smashed between his finger and the marble floor, which like severed his fucking finger, the tip of his finger off, like bone exposure. Crazy. So I don't know like what kind of cocaine medicine you're on that you have which the pictures of that severed finger are terrible. And you'd have to be like really drunk or really drugged up to be able to take that severed finger and then go right on the walls with all your blood. Unless he was using his other finger. Like he was like doing the boop, boop, boop.
He's like Bob Ross.
I'm gonna draw a little
canvas is his bad finger. Let's paint a little happy message here to Amber on the wall. Oh, look at that. Wispy messages. Wispy verbal messages.
A little squirrel. Put a little happy squirrel here. Yeah, look. I mean, there's a picture.
Let me draw a little elevator with Johnny Franco in it here with my blood.
Now, what I can't help but notice here is that one, he's got his sunshades on in this picture. He's got a fucking cutoff finger, and he's in the hospital with his sunshades on.
With the deep V cut shirt.
The sun never sets on a true player. It never does. Future's so bright, he wears his shades at night, as my father would say. Yeah, anyway, but that's pretty heinous. Cut on his finger. Play the next clip.
She's at Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, you know, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, you know, children things from friends, Brando, Hunter, Thompson.
All right, stop. I love how he like
name drops
right there. He's like,
Brando.
you know, from like friends, like, you know, Brando, Hunter, S. Thompson. You know, it's like, do you have to like go in? It's like,
it was like Hunter Thompson was 3 people. He's like Hunter, S. and Thompson.
From kids and things. All right, go ahead. This is This is the most audacious part of the whole trial.
And he said,
Really?
I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph. It was so outside. It was so bizarre and so grotesque.
So grotesque.
That I could only laugh. So I did not go down there that day.
What is it? What is he talking about?
What was the photograph of Mr. Depp?
It was a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed.
This is so crazy.
Was human fecal matter.
Right now, GhostBed is offering 40% off of GhostBed bundles where you get a mattress and adjustable base, or 30% off of everything if you use the code DrinkinBros at ghostbed.com/DrinkinBros. Right now, you can buy a mattress for like $35
Please do not
a month.
poop on the bed.
It's 0 down, 0% financing for up to 60 months. Go check out ghostbed.com/DrinkinBros. Obviously, we love GhostBed. We made Underpaid Producer made an incredible GhostBed reel where he just bought his own GhostBed and set it all up in his house all himself. It looks awesome. He knows it. He can try that bad boy out for 101 nights, not 98, not 99, but 101. If he doesn't like it, he can fucking send it back. Every mattress has a 20-year warranty. But he won't. Some have a 25. You can try them out. 20-year warranty, 25. Some have 25. One of our favorite parts is that they have that cooling technology. We know it doesn't really get hot in Michigan because it's always cold as fuck there. But if it did, that cooling technology would keep you cool so you could stay hard while staying cool, baby. GhostBed, they offer bundles so you can get everything you need. You don't have to really think about it. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and pick your bundle. Whether you just need a mattress and a frame or you want it all. I want it all.
No, I want it all.
I want it all.
I would like to have a ghost bed. I'd like it all. If you would, please.
Could you bundle in the shit package on my ghost bed?
I would like to request that my ghost bed be sent to me shit free, if possible.
I'm gonna need some clean sheets.
If you had a ghost bed,
Do you-
maybe Amber wouldn't have taken a dump on it.
Do you have? I think you would have killed Amber if he would have had a ghost bed
Yeah.
and she pooped on it. Then it'd be like,
Yeah.
Then he's totally justified to escalate that situation physically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with domestic violence, but I mean, you mess with a ghost bed.
Every man has
You
his
know,
limits.
mess with
Every
a bull,
ghost
you're
bed
gonna get
owner
the
has their
horns.
limits.
Mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. No matter who you are. But anyway, we do absolutely love GhostBed. Head over to ghostbed.com/DrinkinBros. Sleep so good it's scary.
Listen,
Ooh. And speaking of, I just sang. I sang because an old partner of mine, Dodge, is in the building. He came over to see me. He's moved up in
Hell yeah,
life.
brother.
He's a big time investigator. Can't say too much about what he does, but brought me this F-bomb by North Carolina Protection Group, and they brought me an F-bomb. So the North Carolina Protection Group,
I like it.
which is super fucking cool. It's a little bottle opener F-bomb. I'm all in on it, so I'm gonna keep that here in the studio, and it's awesome having him in here because we ran those streets together. We ran the hard streets, did the Lord's work out there.
Well, Amber Heard takes a good morning poop like all the rest of the world, but just doesn't get out of bed to do it.
So that was the shit heard around the world.
Oh my god, that was good. That was really good.
That was the shit heard around the world. Now, look, dude. She didn't want him to go to Coachella. Or no, he wanted. She was going to Coachella. He wanted to go out for the night. They have an argument. He leaves. She's like, you know what? I'm going out for 2 days. I'm shitting homeboy's bed on his side of the bed.
Let
How do
that
you-
sucker.
As you're sitting there
marinate.
squatting over your bed trying to force a poo out, what's going through your mind? I can't do it. Could you squat on top of your bed and take a shit?
Not on my bed, on somebody else's.
I think I've gotten so drunk I shit myself once.
Well, that's not
in
good for
bed.
you.
I can't remember if that.
When I was like 8 years old, this kid stole my GI Joes. And this was 8 years old. This was probably like 1988, whatever. Yeah. And so I went next to his house because he wouldn't give it back, and he hid it. I couldn't get it. And so I decided, fuck this shit. I'm gonna take a shit on his doorstep. So 8 years old, I squatted down, taking a shit on this guy's doorstep.
Yeah.
And my dad comes around the corner in the car, come home early, and caught me.
I mean, I would abuse it too.
That was a bad day.
If my
I've
son
heard
was
of,
shitting on my neighbor's porch.
I've heard of leaving the flaming bags of poo on people's
Yeah.
porch, but taking an actual dump on someone's porch, that's intense.
I don't know if I could ever poop on a bed.
So keep going. Let's go. We got a lot to go through here.
More audacious moments.
It
Keep it
gets
going. I have to use the restroom real quick.
crazy.
Speaking of that, but I'm not pulling a herd. I'm just pulling a.
These are just crazy moments
Oopies.
that where it's like, what in the world is going on here?
I'll be right back.
You're just gonna go herd real quick.
Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, wasn't he?
No.
Mr. Depp had his penis out of his pants, didn't he?
I think I would remember
Relevance.
seeing Mr. Depp penis.
I'll allow it. Next question.
Someone said penis.
I remembered seeing Mr. Depp's penis.
He was peeing in the hallway. Johnny's like, what the fuck?
But who cares, dude? Like, that's not. You got hammered, drunk, and peed in the hallway.
Like, if you want to talk about defamation of name, this whole trial is defamation.
Defecation.
Defecation and deformation. Deformation. It's a deformation, defecation. I mean, this is the most embarrassing relationship. I've never had these issues ever in my marriage.
This is two people, and this is like a lifetime, a world. I can't. Historically, all these things that have happened, this should be a college course in like marital issues and psychology.
Dude,
It's
for
ridiculous.
real. This is going to be talked about for years, man.
So it gets we just keep kind of going here with.
Hey, let's go. Hit the next one.
What we got next is Johnny walking into a door.
And what do you interpret that swelling to be?
What do I interpret it as? That's either he's walked into a door or a door's walked into him.
So they show a picture of Johnny. He's smiling. He's got a fucked up nose, 2 black eyes, and they explain it as Johnny's either walked into a door or a door walked into him. Now look, when you get drunk, we did the Tailgate Legends thing, and we were around drunk college kids all day long. And I watched one chick fall out of a chair and skin up both her knees where they were both bleeding, and we had to give her first aid on her knees. And I think her elbow was bleeding too. Okay. We saw another girl slip backwards down a set of stairs trying to climb up the stadium, and she fucked herself up pretty good. She had bumps and bruises, definitely going to be sore. When you get drunk or high and you fuck around, like, it's not hard to get hurt. Like, dudes fall on scooters, fuck their faces up. Dudes trip on sidewalks. Girls lose their shoes. So, like, they're living this lifestyle. This lifestyle comes with a lot of bumps and bruises. So it's not very good evidence if you're really fucked up and then you've got, black eyes. Because do I think that Amber Heard gave him that black eye? I don't think so. I don't think she did.
If she did, it's because they were both. And this is what I think about her recording the audio where she was saying, just because they can hear me doesn't mean that it's my fault. It's like, I'm pretty sure they can hear you because you're crazy bitch. And I'm pretty sure you're crazy and he's crazy.
She's a crazy
Just
bitch.
A nightmare. You know what I
Feels
mean?
so good. He's on top of it.
Welcome back. Thanks, Black Cherry.
Yeah, crazy bitch.
Is it Buck Cherry or Black?
You fuck so
Cherry?
good, I'm gonna shit on top of it. All right, hit the next
Joe
clip.
sped so good, I gotta poop on it.
Hit
that next clip.
Johnny and his yeah.
From when I was doing Lone Ranger, when Spirit was with me when I was sober. Okay. But that was the whiskey that's on the table that was an average. Every day I would come home to her place and there would be a glass of whiskey waiting for me.
Hey, I don't know why it's this fast. Sorry.
We sped it up because he talks so fast.
I don't know why it's that fast.
And you would sometimes drink whiskey in the mornings too, right?
Isn't happy hour anytime?
Whoa! Is it
Bum,
happy hour
bum,
anytime?
Bum, bum,
Dude.
bum, bum,
Okay.
bum.
Yeah, and that's
Johnny
real
likes to
cocaine
party.
Kept in that box that says property of JD with the skull and crossbones, isn't it?
Well, the beautiful composition of the photograph would suggest that, certainly. Cocaine is, in my experience, normally given in plastic bags. When you put it in a box like that, chances are good you'll leave a trail of a long line of cocaine behind you walking down the street. So
He talks about it from experience. Like, you know, I've tried to
I've
transport
never
cocaine in a box. And,
Yeah, I've never
I
never
dropped
got a
it all
box
behind
of
me.
never got a box of cocaine. Never. My cocaine always comes in a bag. And again, like, I think it's just crazy how Hollywood is just so accepting of this whole party lifestyle. And you'd think, you know, you talk about cultures of police departments, you talk about cultures of football teams. You know, Hollywood has its own really bad culture problem. And we see it with the Will Smith thing. We see it with this whole Johnny Depp thing. Lots of toxic. I mean, look at not Kelly, Amanda Bynes.
Oh God.
You know,
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears. You know, you want to talk about changing culture? We should change the culture of Hollywood and make Hollywood more professional, and not have things like
right.
You know.
So this is just more stuff about Hollywood, where he found out that he was getting booted off of.
Yeah, go ahead.
Pirates.
Were you aware that as of October 25th, 2018, about 2 months before this op-ed was published, that it was being reported, as it is in this article, that Johnny Depp is out as Jack Sparrow in Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise as actor battles financial issues and personal dramas? Were you aware of that?
I wasn't aware of that, but it doesn't surprise me given that 2 years had gone by of just constant worldwide talk about me being this wife beater.
Understood, but
I'm sure that Disney was trying to cut ties to be safe. The Me Too movement was in full swing at that point.
Which is true. And if you really look at the Me Too movement here, I think both of these folks are guilty of domestic violence. I think that and domestic violence to me is not just hitting somebody. I think punching holes in the walls is a form of domestic violence. It's a form of intimidation. You shouldn't do it. Verbal abuse, psychological abuse.
Yeah, you can really box someone in that way and make them feel abused or trapped. I mean, there's certainly an aspect to that, and it's hard to quantify that criminally, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty self-determining how you feel about something.
Yeah, exactly. Which that makes it hard because, yeah, what are you supposed to do about that? Call the cops and say he makes me feel a certain way? Like that's hard to criminally quantify and bullet point in a law.
But what you have right here is two extremely immature people. You don't even have one or the other, so nobody's going to make a good decision here. They're just going to keep doing this destructive behavior. And I think that if you're in a relationship right now and you have one episode like this, you're getting some serious counseling or you're getting the fuck out.
What is interesting about this?
Real love works. Do you have fights like that with your wife?
No, not at all. But what stands out to me is when you talk about like Hollywood, right? Is these people are on the civil trials stand, and there seems to be a constant acknowledgement of criminal drug use and all that stuff. Like, my experience with cocaine is this, like, dude, I mean, you're strung out on drugs, and this is like what is apparently normative behavior. What I did see come out of this trial is like people like Drew Barrymore talking about the first time she did cocaine was when she was like 8.
Yeah.
Like, these people are saying, like, Hollywood parties, what we are seeing from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial is just kind of like peel the curtains back and look inside Hollywood, and this is normative.
I have a question for you guys that I was kind of observing this. When you have two people going onto a stand giving testimony against one another, it's hearsay. Even their evidence isn't enough to prove anything, really, as far as I can see. But isn't the constant talk of drug use and alcoholism and all, doesn't that negate anybody?
Yeah, I think if I honestly feel, and we'll know this afternoon, or we'll have closing arguments this afternoon, and we'll probably know however long.
Who knows how long they'll go?
I mean, they want to have this done by Memorial Day weekend. I feel like the jury is probably going to go, you guys are both fucking nuts, and nobody's going to win this. I don't think they give it to anybody.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, that's what this is. This is just two psychotic human beings, two narcissistic human beings that are so full of themselves. I mean, Johnny Depp is not taking this seriously at all. He's laughing. The publicity
Dude,
is
his
there.
fans brought alpacas out front one day. I saw him walking into the trials, like people were, "Hey, Johnny." He's a, "Thank you very much," and he's like, and then he looks to the news camera or whatever camera is following him. He's like, "I made them breakfast this morning, like waffles." Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
play the next clip.
So
Let's
yeah,
burn through this.
with these next clips, this gets into what y'all talking about, where you got two insanely ridiculous people. They're gonna have to get some pretty insane defense. So let's see.
Yeah.
Is the black on top or underneath the red?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation, leading.
I sustain the objection. Take her out.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
Overruled. Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor, to the first message. Excuse me, Your Honor, to the second.
You mean the response?
At one point in our conversations, I told him about how
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
told me about
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
filming. The plan was to do
Objection,
the
Your
full
Honor,
detox.
hearsay.
I was involved in the conversations with the doctors and with his sister.
Objection,
And
Your Honor,
nurse.
that's still hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
That part is.
Objection, non-responsive.
And I knew he would not remember. And if
Calls for speculation.
Why did you tape record?
in my experience, when Johnny was that inebriated, he would not remember what he had done.
Calls for speculation.
What do you believe? What's even?
Yeah, I mean, you can't hear anybody say the story because they just keep doing this over and over again. And Amber's lawyers are not very great. Go ahead and play this next clip. This is they're getting
Do you
embarrassed.
have injuries to your nose?
Yes.
Please describe those to the jury.
I'm gonna
A bunch of
object
scar
to the-
tissue.
I'm going to object to the extent it calls for hearsay and lack of foundation
Overruled.
and improper expert opinion.
Well,
She can certainly testify too.
we'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
I'm actually surprised the judge
I
didn't let
have
her answer
a
this.
significant amount of scar tissue in my nose.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
All right.
Well, that's all I had.
Attorney.
That was really, man, that was bad.
that was some court TV guy.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't allow her to answer. The judge didn't say you can answer. She's allowed to answer the question, but only with her own description of her experience. I mean, she can't use medical terms, but it was a fine line. But kudos. I mean, from a legal standpoint, from a lawyer standpoint, Johnny Depp's lawyers, that was freaking genius, because stopping her from being able to answer that question on those little technicalities is pretty impressive. And her team was not ready for that. They thought that they would be able to have an easy slam dunk there, and they did not have a backup plan.
Well, they actually this video, it's kind of interesting. They actually joined the other team. Here, I'll play this for you.
Didn't know what could cause damage to Mr. Depp's hand while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
Wait, you asked the question.
You asked the question.
It's like objection, hearsay. I've got you. They're like, nope.
How much are those lawyers getting paid to not know basic courtroom procedure?
Oh
my gosh.
God. All right. And then we'll sum this up with this last one here. Oh, my wife came in. Go ahead, play this last one.
Did he ever tell you in words or substance that the three of them, Amber Heard, Elon Musk, and Cara Delevingne, spent the night together?
Yes.
So they were having a three-way affair, correct?
My understanding, yes.
Wait, hold on a second. Is this right?
Yeah.
Oh, that last clip was an edited thing, right? Like to try to tie it together.
That was tied together.
I was like, wait a second. He actually said that? I'm like, oh no, that's edited up.
My wife heard threesome and she came into the studio. She heard threesome with Elon Musk.
So
would you have a
she be
threesome with
okay with
Elon
that?
Musk? You wouldn't be okay
Careful
with
with
that?
your card
That's
info there, Eric.
That's a lot of money. Oh, shit. My wife came in to get a debit card, but I think she should have
Get it
to
off
come
the
on the
camera.
camera.
Put
She
it
should have to
down.
come get it off the camera.
Good Lord.
Oh, hey.
Show 'em what domestic violence is really about.
Yeah, you should have slapped her.
Hit him.
A threesome with Elon Musk?
That's skate mommy.
Bombshell. Play that again.
Did she ever tell you in words or substance that the three of them, Amber Heard, Elon Musk, and Cara Delevingne, spent the night together?
Yes.
So they were having a three-way affair, correct?
My understanding, yes.
Wait, hold on a second. Is this right?
Yeah.
People are like, I thought you guys were unbiased. How do you play that? Like, yeah, it's just a joke. Relax.
So I at the end of the day, this whole Amber Heard thing, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's my quote for this whole show. Like, you're gonna live this lifestyle. You're gonna do fucking loads of cocaine. You're gonna cheat on your bisexual partner. He's gonna cheat on his partner, and then you're gonna get together. And you think that's gonna be a great idea? I think people need to like. I think people just get into relationships. I don't know why. Stop following your dick and start following like common sense.
You play Hollywood games, you win Hollywood prizes. It's
Just because
a
you
whole
fuck
different
something doesn't mean you need
culture.
to lock it down. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to wait till you're married, wait till you're married. But if I don't understand is like why people just lock it down so fast. Like, obviously, this is one of those relationships you don't need to be rushing into shit because this is what happens. And then you're gonna live an eternity. You're gonna live 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years of being miserable because you locked it down. Like, you should be very careful of who you fucking lock it down with. Make sure that person's perfect. Make sure it's the right person. Just because they're good in bed does not make them the right person.
What Hollywood relationships have stood the test of time? Isn't Tom Hanks and his wife? They've been together for forever.
And Bill Gates did. Oh, Bill Clinton.
Bill
Clinton,
Gates, he's
Hillary.
not Hollywood.
You said Hill Clinton.
Bill Clinton, and Hillary.
Hell yeah.
That's a shitty relationship that stood the test of time.
I watched that Johnny Depp trial.
I mean, that dude
guy's
fucked an unpaid
crazy.
intern.
He's
The
so
constant
crazy.
joking about, and we joke about it because it's there, but like the constant joking about what happened between these two completely demeans and detracts from the seriousness of domestic violence and abuse.
I'd have
And it
done
just
anything
seems
to
to
get
be-
that Amber Heard on my couch in the Oval Office.
I got
Oh
about
boy,
4
she looks
blue
like she
dresses.
could smoke herself a cigar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. All I can say is like, you want to have a really great relationship and be 100% selfless. Make it all about your partner. How can I make my partner happy today? How can I get my partner on the camera today? I'm just kidding. I need to get my partner to go to the store for me. I mean, yeah, a relationship is, I think that's what's great about my wife and I is like, we're always trying to outdo each other in selfless service. And, she's always wanting to take care of me. And I in turn want to take care of her. And I think that's what makes it work. I never want to embarrass her. I never want to shun her. I mean, truly, out of all the irreverent things in my life, she is the one thing that I do hold reverent. And I don't ever, nobody's ever heard me disrespect my wife. Nobody's ever heard me call her a bitch. Nobody's ever heard me call her any crazy names or spoken ill of her or even say what I don't like about her. That is something that stays between my wife and I, if we have those conversations. But I don't go off and talk to my buddies about my wife because I would never want to embarrass her. Now, I'll talk about our sexual exploits because, sometimes I'm frankly just proud of them, some of the kinky shit we get into. But
gross.
But it's all in love,
I've only been married for 2 years, and I'd say biggest things I've learned in the first 2 years of marriage: communication, super important, and dying to yourself every day.
Wow, that got deep.
No, seriously
Jeez.
though,
dying to yourself.
Yeah, like
killing
kind of what you
yourself?
said. Be completely selfish.
Brian says
Oh.
skate mommy Tansey had the best 3 minutes of her life.
Yeah, 4 times. Because we got 4 kids, bruh.
In all seriousness, when it comes to like the perspective on domestics, I mean, this is like, this is literally the world's biggest he said, she said. Like this in your face. That's what this is. And that's not to take away, I guess, from real domestic situations. Do you think this is like, the broad exposure to this trial is good or bad for real domestic situations? Or do you think it's irrelevant? Do you think most cops are like, who cares about this trial? There's no impact.
I think, because again, being a distillery owner and having a tasting bar that people hang out of, it is funny and audacious and everything, but it kind of like, I think it sets a really bad example because in the younger generations, they see this and they think that, oh, that's what Hollywood's like, so it's okay. Or everybody has a relationship like that. So you've seen your mom and your dad have a shitty relationship. Luckily for me, my mom and dad had a great relationship. My mom and dad have always, I mean, obviously they've had their moments or whatever, but my dad was always very respectful of my mother. My mother was always very respectful of my dad. And so I have a good background, but I think some people don't, they're not afforded that same opportunity. And then when you see Hollywood doing something like this, it kind of solidifies what they already know. And if you're in a position of power, being an influencer or being whatever, I think you have an obligation to be an example to others. And I think it's really sad that a lot of these football, like Tiger Woods, man, like I'm more ashamed of Tiger Woods than anything else. It's like, how many I don't care if you're the GOAT, dude. You're not the GOAT as a human. You're kind of a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah,
like,
but
you're a selfish piece of shit.
Is that on Tiger Woods or is that on us? It's the same. Like I'm listening to this stuff going like, why do we support these people? Why we get entertained and we're exchanging like dollars for entertainment, but are we? What level of responsibility do we have for what we do? Tiger Woods didn't ask to be put on a pedestal because he was a good golf player. We did.
No,
that.
but you're
we
there.
did that. Not me, because I don't care about golf, but I'm saying like people
he cashes those checks.
The only reason I don't cheat on my wife is because of this show.
That's intense.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, just joking. No, I think like once you're there, man, then you live an example to other people. Like LeBron James, man. It's like,
Yeah, but I don't know that I agree with that.
Well,
I don't think that just because you do something,
you don't have to, but you should.
Yeah, but you are who you are. I don't think that you have an increased responsibility just because you have a higher reach. I hate that. I actually hate when people tell me like, you have to say this or do this or be this certain way because you have this reach or you have this influence on social media. It's like, bitch, I do what I am myself. I don't owe you or anybody else anything just because I have this reach.
Yeah, I kind of like, I disagree. Like you say you have to be yourself, right? You gotta be yourself. Well, if I really want to be myself, then I'm going to fucking get on Tinder and find a whole bunch of like older cougar women that have dark brown hair and, 32 triple Ds with the 30-inch waist. And I'm just kidding. Sorry. Blacked out for a minute. No, but if I'm going to be myself, like I would go crazy. I would be doing cocaine, going down to Mexico, going down to Cancun, blowing all my money. Who gives a shit about those kids? And I'd live my best life.
Well, if that's
if
your
I really
real
wanted
self, that's
to
a problem.
be myself, like I don't think you should be yourself.
Is that your real you, or are you being your real you, being a husband and a father? Which one's the real you?
I don't know, because we all have like everybody's going to be tempted to do crazy shit.
I know.
Your actions. You don't do crazy shit because you're a good human being.
Your actions reveal exactly who you are at all times.
I got you. I mean, I agree. So therefore, like, I don't think Tiger Woods was born a piece of shit. Like, I don't think he was born to go off. I think him going off with strippers is every man has that temptation to do that. And if you don't hold yourself to a higher standard because of religion or because of whatever else, because of your family name,
what I'm saying is just because has a larger platform doesn't make him any more or less responsible to be a good person, like to take the good actions. I don't think that we should hold someone to a higher standard simply because they're in the public eye. I think the standard is the standard. It's just that we're more aware of it when it's someone that's in the public eye. And we tend to judge people like that are in the public eye in a different way than we do ourselves or other people in our regular life. But I don't think that we should. I don't think that just because someone's a notable person for one reason or another, Hollywood or social media or whatever, that all of a sudden, I mean, people love to see those kind of people struggle and fail and find faults with them. But I don't think that's a fair way to approach it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm saying, like, if you're a good, like I said, a culture of decency being in the police department, you're held to a higher standard, right? Talked about this on last call today. I think when you're a teacher, you're kind of held to a higher standard.
I think that you're making a conscious decision to do something that already has
I
you're
don't-
making an agreement.
I don't think I even like that phrase. I think that I think you're held to a particular expectation based on a particular job, right? So I don't think that a cop is quote unquote held to a higher standard only to a certain degree. Like you wouldn't, like a teacher would be expected to have a certain level of behavior and decorum when it comes to particular aspects of their job and life where it relates to their function as a teacher.
It sounds like you guys are agreeing, but you're using different speech to me.
Yeah,
like
maybe.
What was in the Amber Heard trial, the Johnny Depp trial, where he's like, the attorney was asking the doctor, and she was asking Amber Heard the particulars in the case, and she said, "Oh, well, that word doesn't mean the same to me." And she's like, "Well, I don't care what it means to you. The definition of that word is this." And she's like, "I still like that word doesn't mean that to me." And she's like, "Again, not asking you what you think that word means. I'm telling you what it means."
We don't get to define everything how we want it.
I just like to think that, like, and I guess because I'm in this realm, look, I get it. Humans are humans, right? We're gonna fuck up. We're gonna do stupid shit. And I think it all comes back to being honest, and that's why I think integrity is my biggest thing. And anybody that knows me or that's ever around me, integrity is my number one thing. And you can ask the overpay producer, you can ask any of the staff at my distillery. The one thing that will get you gone out of my life faster than anything is lying to me. I am very tolerant of a lot of things. I've even told my wife, if you cheat on me, I would work it out 100%. But you have to tell the truth. You have to come out and tell the truth, and you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with me, and we have to have an honest discussion about all of it to see if we can work it out or not. I'm not just going to fly off the handle and leave you, but that would be the case. Thank God that's not on the table with my wife. I think she's a little busy at the moment to be doing shit like that. But who knows when I become rich and famous? And I'm just kidding. But I think that the dishonesty, and so many people are just naturally dishonest these days. People just like to lie. People always want to have an angle. And being in this realm for 9 or 10 months, I've been disappointed in a lot of people. There's a lot of people that we've interviewed that I've gone back and looked at afterwards and been like, oh shit, not sure I would really have a beer with that guy because he's kind of a fucking dirtbag. And that's the culture of Hollywood. That's the culture of this like elite mentality. And I wish that there was more of examples of like, hey, when you get here, don't do this. Just because you have this money doesn't mean you need to go do loads of fucking blow and have crazy threesomes. Because it feels like that's what everybody does when they get to that. They get to the top.
Maybe, but do they really become that, or were they always that? And now they just have an opportunity,
I guess. I think that's what I'm
saying. Like, I think people
like, I think it's all in us.
But I think we have ourselves to blame when we look at this giant ball of insanity that was this Depp Heard trial. I think we have ourselves to blame because we fuel this. Like, and I say we as in like culture
I
fuels this. And it's like we do the same thing with politicians and this Hollywood elite. They do this stuff with impunity because we give it to them. We give them the platform to be this way. And it's really hard to raise your kids and say, this is how you need to live, while we fuel the industries with our dollars and votes. It's crazy to me. And I don't know that it's as simple, because the real solution would be just to go straight Amish, I guess, just completely disconnect from that. I don't know that that's the answer, but it gets frustrating, and I can understand the extreme of wanting to just completely disconnect from this bullshit, because that's mostly what it is.
I think we should just,
but here we are on YouTube.
I think we should make discipline cool again. Like, have some discipline, man. Have some morals, have some principles, have some fucking discipline. Don't do stupid shit. Don't, you're an actor, man. You're a world-class actor. You're a Disney actor on Pirates of the Caribbean, where every child in the world is looking at you. And I think you should, maybe you don't have to, but I think you should live up to that, man. You should live up, you should take that opportunity to be that hero for those children and not be, slamming 1.5 liters of wine and snorting cocaine and smacking a bitch because she makes fun of your tattoos.
Yeah, but if they're not that person without Hollywood, they won't be that person with it. You know what I'm saying?
But
I don't think people
my
change.
point is,
I don't think someone.
I think it's a culture. I think it is a culture. I think you can train people to be to be a good person. I think if it wasn't the way I was raised, I think I'd be a wild child, dude. I think if it wasn't for meeting my wife when I met my wife, I think I'd be a wild child. I think naturally, I believe that you're kind of born into sin. You naturally want to do the wrong thing. Unless there is a culture around you that's doing something different, you're going to fall in line with what everybody else is doing. And if you change the culture of Hollywood and you make it to where you should live to a certain standard, hey, dude, you're a Hollywood actor. You're a Hollywood actor, dude. Fucking act like it. You're Iron Man, dude. There's kids with cancer that are dying right now that really believe that you're the fucking Iron Man. Act like it. And if that's the culture of your surroundings, then people are going to start trying to live up to that standard. And Hollywood doesn't have that. Police officers have that. If you start fucking around on your wife in a good locker room and being on Southeast District D Squad in Southeast Raleigh, I think if I were to ever have cheated on my wife or something like that, I think there was 3 or 4 dudes on the squad that have something really would have something really to say about it. And I know that there was a person on our squad who was cheating on his wife. He got shunned to the point where he left the whole department. And on his way out, he tried to get everybody on this hostile work environment because everybody was so upset that he was sleeping with another man's wife that was also a police officer that they were not allowing him to check in. They weren't checking in with him, which was a safety issue, but they were like, no, dude, you're kind of a dirtbag. We're not gonna do it. So, on my squad and all the rookies knew, oh, this squad is these guys, they're cops. They're going to act like cops, like real cops, not domestic violence, not going to be out drinking. They're in the gym every day together. And if you're not, you're going to get shunned and so on and so forth. And I think that's a culture as a leader, as a police department and a leader, that's your responsibility to set that culture. So if you're the sergeant on the squad and you're cheating on your wife, dude, that's the example for the rest of your squad to follow. And you're going to have squad issues. Shit's going to come with it. So I guess for me, it's like, set a culture in Hollywood where it's cool to not be that kind of a douchebag. That's why I like, what's his name? Hercules? What's the actor that plays Hercules?
Ken Sorbo or
Ken Sorbo, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I always
did I get that right?
We need to get you on last call today, baby. But I think that, you get guys like that who are trying to, Keanu Reeves, guys that are trying to live, they're still having a good time. They're still having fun. I'm not saying be like a perfect human being.
Kevin Sorbo. There you go.
Try to find something bad about that cat.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp's in the chat. He just wants to go home.
Oh, Johnny. Look, I'm still a Johnny Depp fan, but I think you should tighten it up, homeboy. Tighten that shit up, dude.
Sure. You deserve.
Be more like Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah. In a world of Johnny Depp's, be a Kevin Sorbo. There you go. Unless it's uncovered that he has some type of.
I was just about to say, like, watch, he comes out tomorrow, like, diddling and children. We're like, fuck.
Dang it. Don't be a Kevin Sorbo. All right. That was the most audacious moments in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial from our limited perspective with you all. A little bit of a lighthearted breakdown. I know it's not the kind of cases that you normally would hear from us, but I think we needed a break, man. We needed a break from this, from the serious and
WT back to says, I'm currently hiding in my squad car in Chicago, watching you guys, dreading this holiday weekend and knowing that we're going to have a violent weekend. Cheers, guys. One, it's a bad attitude. All right. It's Chicago. Anything can happen. It could be a non-violent weekend in Chicago. You don't know it's going to be violent.
Yeah, think
positive. Turn that frown upside down,
Lori
Debbie
Lightfoot
Downer.
video.
It's going to be soft.
Just
obviously you don't listen to the disruptors.
You guys got a lot going for you. Lightfoot's in charge, so things are good.
Could be
things
worse.
are headed in the right direction.
She got her 2022 census in the mail.
Oh, nice.
With no problems.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
She went to Texas recently, read some books. A lot going on for Lightfoot. Very good.
No, but hey, WT back to man, be safe out there, dude. We love you. We're rooting for you. We're on your team. Go in it with a smile, man. My favorite quote, and I'll leave you on this. This is one I said this in the academy, and one of the instructors smoked the shit out of me for it. But it was a quote from Moby Dick, and it says, I know not all that may be coming, but be it what it is, I'll go to it smiling. So no matter what that call is, I'm going to go to it smiling, and then we'll see what happens. But no matter what it is, I'm going to show up with a smile on my face, and then we'll figure it out. So go to it with a smile. Guns up,
nice
giddy
guy.
up.
I'm more the guy like I'm bringing the thunder.
Yeah, I'm coming in here with my hammer. The
Punisher.
thunder, a little lightning.
Here comes Big Spoon.
The big spoon's taking this call.
I'm coming in with Johnny Depp.
That's exactly what I say when I walk into there. Listen, Amber, let's get one thing straight. I'm the big spoon. You're the little spoon in this situation. You understand?
You shit on my bed and I'll fucking kill you.
You shit on my bed, I'll shit right on the shit.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Big
All
spoon
right.
energy.
Was that a line out of The Ringer?
Go watch The Human Centipede if you want to really get disgusted, though.
Oh, that's a good movie. One
Never
of my
seen
favorites.
it. I just heard the premise and I wasn't interested.
That's a good movie.
Not my kind of thing. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We will see you next week. 5 episodes, baby. 5 of them. Thank you for the 1 million downloads. We love you.